First of all, I'm no motivational keynote speaker. I'm just a window cleaner, and I'm going to tell you how I got into window cleaning, what I was using, and all the downfalls and pitfalls that I had, and how hard I struggled when I first got into window cleaning for the first 2 or so years. So this was my first squeegee that I started window cleaning with, and as you know, as you saw, this is a car squeegee. It's not for professional window cleaning. This is how naive and stupid I was when I first got into window cleaning. So why did I get into window cleaning? Well, it wasn't a choice. It was more of a desperation. I needed to do something to earn some money, and being a window cleaner I thought was probably the easiest business that I could start on a low budget. Cleaning windows it's not really difficult. It doesn't take a lot of brain power or knowledge. Anybody can do it. Well, for the first 2 to 3 years I was one of the worst window cleaners in terms of skill and talent that there was. So I remember talking to an old family member, friend. He was a businessman. He was an immigrant from Italy. His name was Vic Lanza, and he came to the UK when he was about 16, and he's always been in business for himself. Started with ice cream vans, moved on to buying and selling cars, buying houses, then hotels. He was a very rich man, and unfortunately he didn't live to a very old age. About 55, got stomach cancer, died. He built a legacy, a massive business. He had over 80 houses that he was renting out, but he didn't enjoy his rewards. His wife and his child, he's now enjoying that, and Vic's dead. So maybe that's a lesson that you can all take with you. What's the point in working yourself to death when you can't enjoy the rewards? So with that in mind, let's move on. But he always said to me, he said, if you ever want to make money, you need to work for yourself, because no one's going to pay you as much as yourself. So that gave me the thought of being in business for myself. He always advised me to get into buying houses. But how can you buy houses when you've got no capital? Or very little. So that was his advice. But I needed to make some money, and I was fed up working for people and not being noticed and being rewarded for my efforts, watching everybody else go up the ladder, and never happened to me. So it was time to do something for myself, and window cleaning was probably the easiest thing that I could have started with. When I first started, it was 11 years ago, and straight away I was gaining customers. So I didn't have difficulty finding the work, I had difficulty doing the work. So this was my first squeegee, along with this. This is a professional squeegee. This is an old Stecone handle. It's probably over 40 odd years old. It was a squeegee my dad used to use. He used to do a bit of window cleaning, very little bit of window cleaning. A shop for his friend who run a shop. He did that, and he did a few houses. When I was ever so young I didn't know about that, but I sometimes used to go to work with him on a Friday when I was off school, and I watched him clean a window, and he was using this. Now the problem was, when he stopped window cleaning, this was left in the under the sink in the kitchen, and when I was a kid I used to play with it. I used to try to be a window cleaner myself, and over years all the rubber perished at either end. All the channel was bent and buckled. It was destroyed basically, and this is what I was using for the first 6 weeks I was using this that didn't work, and I was using this that didn't work. So to give you an example how it didn't work, all I could do was to pull to the side, and what that did was leave lines that thick, because I had no rubber here or here, and I had loads of gaps in here. For 6 weeks I struggled using this. I didn't even know where to buy tools from. I didn't have the internet, I didn't have any books, no one taught me how to be a window cleaner. I can't go to a window cleaner and ask him a load of questions and then say, well, I'm actually thinking about working in your area. He's not going to give me any information. Well, if he did, it would have been stupid. So I started the worst possible way you could ever imagine, and I was desperate. I think, for myself anyway, I would never have been a window cleaner if I wasn't in a desperate situation. So after about 6 weeks or so, roughly, I found out where I could buy window cleaning equipment from, and I thought, it's time for me to upgrade from this and this. This obviously is not working for me. I walked into the premises and I took this with him, because I didn't know whether the man behind the counter would know what I'm talking about. So I took this in, I said, I'm having difficulty using this. I didn't obviously show him this because he would have known I was a right clown. So I walked in and I said, I'm having difficulty using this. I think I need a new one. So he looked at it and he said, well, you've been using this? How long? And I said, well, I've been a window cleaner for 6 weeks. And he must have thought I was a right plonker. So I didn't know at the time, but I did see, as you can see on this other squeegee, there is a metal insert, and at the time I didn't know what that was, but I knew it was sort of holding in the rubber. But I'm good at breaking things, and I didn't want to pull it just in case I made the squeegee work even less than it was. So I thought, this is how stupid I was, I went in and said I need a new one of these, because I didn't know you could replace certain parts of it. I just thought you have to buy a whole new thing. I had no idea how much it was going to be. I just had about £30–40, and I thought, well, I hope it's not going to be more than £40, because that's all the money I've got to spend. And he said, well, what we do is we pull this out. So straight away that was a revelation, because I had no idea you could pull the rubber out. We'll take the rubber out, we'll put a new rubber in. He put a new rubber in, he said, well, your channel's still bent and buckled, do you want a new one of those as well? And I said, yeah. Well, how much are they? And they were about £6–7 I think. So he undid all the bolts and took it out, put a new one in with the new rubber in as well. And he said, you can keep the handle, because that's fine. That was a massive revelation to me. I also bought a second squeegee and a 6-inch squeegee as well to match this size. So I had 3 squeegees, and they were all Ettore. I knew about Ettore even before I was a window cleaner, because looking at this channel it said Steckone Master, but on the rubber and on the channel it had the imprint Ettore sign. So I knew about Ettore from an early age. So great. So he showed me. I asked him. I said, "How do you clean a window? How would you do it?" And this guy wasn't a window cleaner, but he said, "Well, I do clean my own home windows, and this is what I do." I didn't know about T-bars and washers. He pulled out a T-bar, and I said, "Oh no, I'll be using a sponge. I need to buy one of those as well." Soak up soak it all up. Use a bucket, soap, and then you just pull to the side like this, and then you dry the edges. So I was kind of pulling either down or to the side, but because I was using just this tool, it was just leaving a load of massive lines this big. There's no rubber here, no rubber here, a load of nicks in here. Every time you're pulling, I've got lines like this. And he was the first person to show me how to clean a window properly. He must have thought I was a right idiot. and I often went back to that man and a shop because I like to speak to him. He helped me out a treat, and every so often I used to pop in and buy some more tools. You know, bigger tools, more selection of tools. I used to always use him because at the time I wasn't using the internet. So I walked out of that shop with a spring in my step, thinking I could. Now I know how to clean windows, and now I've got the proper tools to do it. They're all going to work properly for me, and that was what I did for the next 2.5 years. And all I could do was this or this.